Hey everybody, it's Michelle. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, I wanted to share with you something, kind of a lesson I learned over the weekend, and I learned something about myself that I thought would be helpful for you, and I wanted to share it. And I always laugh because I am so client zero with all of this, and I know the stuff that I'm going through is the same stuff that you're going through, and we're all in this together, and we're all growing together, and I feel like I'm my own guinea pig. But it's great because then I get to learn and share with you. So I'm not excited to say that I had a really horrible weekend, but I did. I had a horrible weekend. I had trauma in almost every area of my life that I could possibly have. I had personal trauma. I had trauma with my son. I had trauma with my mom, and I had trauma with my ex-husband. That's not the good part. So then, okay, that was all, and that all happened within 2 or 3 days, right? Boom, boom, boom. So Monday morning comes around, and I go to work. I'm talking with a client, and my client says, "Michelle, how are you?" And I said, "You know what? I'm great. I am really great. I feel great." And then it was like, how do I feel great? How is it that I feel great? With all this crazy muck going on in my life, how is it that I still feel great? And I thought, wow, how have I separated my personal life from my professional life so well so that it hasn't shaken my faith in myself and in my journey, and it hasn't made me take this major detour? And, I thought about this and I was like, how do I do that? Because I really feel great. I mean, I really do. So I'm thinking about this and I'm like, okay, how have I managed to do this? What is it that I'm doing that makes me able to do that? And the only thing that I could come up with is that I am a really good compartmentalizer, right? And what I mean by that is when I am a mom, I'm a mom. When I am a daughter, I'm a daughter. When I'm a coach, I'm a coach. You get my full attention, okay? When I'm working with you, you get my full attention. And the same thing with my kids, and the same thing with my mom, and the same thing, with the guy I kicked to the curb. You get my full attention. Now, some people call that mindfulness. And which I think compartmentalization and mindfulness, I kind of think they're the same thing in a way, because when I'm focusing on my business, I'm focusing on my business. We all try to multitask. And honestly, I don't know that that's such a great idea. For one thing, it might give you white hair like I have. I don't know. But I don't think multitasking is necessarily such a great idea. Because I don't really think our brain multitasks the way we think it does, and I think everything gets shortchanged in the process. Personal opinion, I have no evidence or proof of that, okay? But just what I know about how the brain works, I honestly think something gets shortchanged. And I have this really good knack of focusing on whatever I'm doing right now. And so what that has allowed me to do is totally push all of that personal stuff to the side. Now, I'm not saying I've pushed it to the back and I've forgotten about it. I'm not saying I pushed it down and I'm not going to deal with it, right? I just kind of move it over to be addressed at a later time, right? And so then I'm focusing on one thing at a time. And when they talk about mindfulness, it's basically it's full attention on what you're doing. Like, I'm eating this apple. Not only am I eating it, but I'm tasting it and touching it, so I feel the texture and noticing the crunch and the juiciness and the whole 9 yards. And then they talk about, well, if you're not really mindful, you're already deciding. You're hearing part of the sentence and making decisions before you even hear the whole sentence. You're already making decisions based on other information. So to be mindful is just to pay attention to one thing at a time and to really experience that one thing at a time. And so, which I kind of think is the same thing as compartmentalizing. So anyway, so I wanted to say that. And so if I had to say to you, yes, you definitely do want to split that. For one thing, you don't want to shortchange your family. When you're spending family time, you want to spend family time, right? And you want your family to know that you're present here and here with them, right? So when you're spending family time, spend family time. When you're being the professional, be the professional, okay? And then let that other stuff go. And the easiest way, I think, for you to do that is to start trying to do it with really small things. If you're not just really traditionally good at this, try it with really small things first. Try, I'm going to eat an apple, and I'm going to notice everything about that apple. Or I'm going to plan my calendar for tomorrow, and that's the only thing I'm going to do. And I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to look at my email. I am only going to look and see what my calendar is like for tomorrow. And I'm going to take 10 or 15 minutes and schedule my calendar for tomorrow. Or I'm going to get on the phone and talk to one of my kids. And when I do that, I'm going to turn off everything else. I'm not going to be looking, I'm not going to be scanning Facebook when I'm on the phone. I am going to be present in everything that I do. And what I think that will give you, the more you do that, the better you're going to get at it. And I don't know if it's just a skill that maybe I just was born with it, I don't know. But I do feel like I am really, really good at that. Because when I'm working, you have got my full attention, right? You have got my full attention. I'm not worried about anything that happened before I walked in the door. And I'm not worried or thinking about anything that I have to do when I leave you, right? So you have got my full attention. And what it helps me do is it really helps me stay focused on what my journey is as well. Because all this like minutiae is flying on around me, right? But in a way, it doesn't have anything to do with where I'm going professionally. It's personal stuff, and yeah, you want to have a beautiful, abundant life personally, but that all that stuff is going to take care of itself, right? So, when we're talking about our professional lives, this minutiae is flying around me, and I am still focused on my journey. And it's because of the fact that I am really able to compartmentalize and really focus on the task at hand. And then once I get done with that task at hand, if I need to deal with something on a personal level, I do. Okay? And then I'll go back to business. But I'd much rather do that because then it doesn't affect how I feel about my business in general. It's like even with all this crazy stuff that happened, it didn't shake my faith in myself. It didn't shake my faith in my business. It didn't shake my faith in my journey. It was a wrinkle. It was a kind of a big wrinkle because it was the whole weekend was a wrinkle, but it didn't shake my faith. And the neat thing about that is that the more you do it, the more you do that, the more you're able to bounce back and the more you're able to compartmentalize, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the more you're just going to keep, you're going to keep bouncing and kind of boomerang effect to what your real true goals are. Like that boomerang, you're just going to keep coming back, and it's like my set point is abundance. That's my set point. And so, and I think, and as I continue to grow, like we all do, my set point is just going to continue to rise. And that's what we all want. And, the more you do these things, the better you get at it, and the better you get to the higher you raise your set point. So I just wanted to share that with you because I just think it was really enlightening for me, and it was really good for me to notice just on a personal level that I felt really good. I mean, I felt really good. I had a crappy weekend, but I had a crappy weekend and it's gone, and I was focused, and I'm off to the races. So I wanted to share that with you. You guys, I hope you have a great week. Maybe if something inspires me, I will touch base again soon. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.